We don't really know how to process this. Hamas announced that Kfir and Ariel Bibas, aged 2 and 5, were murdered, along with their mother Shiri. They were abducted in October 2023, and that they are dead. They want to return their bodies this week. Israel has not confirmed that this is actually true, that they're dead, until we see the body. But we have serious concerns about their well-being, and why would they say that if they're still alive? And so, the broader ceasefire agreement includes the release of more hostages and more bodies. And so, we don't know how to process this. It's such a pain that you imagine he was a 4-year-old and a few-month-old child, and just to think that they were dragged out of their crib. I mean, listen to this Australian television anchor, how you can hear his heart.
Horrors of the Middle East conflict and the absolute heartlessness, brutality and depravity of the terrorists of Hamas and their supporters, then it comes today in the form of an announcement from that bloodthirsty Islamist extremist outfit. Hamas says it will hand over the bodies of 4 hostages on Thursday, including the 2 youngest people held by the Palestinian armed group. Bodies to be released would include those of the Bibas family, Shiri, and her young children, Kfir and Ariel, who were aged 9 months and 4 years when Hamas kidnapped them during the 7th of October 2023 attack. So Hamas killed them. They are only dead because Hamas and its supporters considered that apart from slaughtering and defiling innocent men, women and children, it was also okay to take a mother and her 4-year-old and her 9-month-old sons.
When people scream in universities, apartheid country, Israel's an apartheid state, I mean, look at the efforts to bring home an Israeli Bedouin Muslim Arab. He's Israeli, and he's been hostage for over 10 years, and he'll be released now, supposedly, along with 100 other Palestinian prisoners, murderers, will be released for his freedom. Call that a apartheid state? Look what's going on in Egypt. I mean, with these paragliders, these motorized gliders. I gotta say, we have some trauma just from seeing these scenes in the south of Israel. And is that what we're looking at? Is there a preparation for another invasion by air? Are things winding down or cranking up? We've got to learn our lesson from our history, our recent history, our all history, and keep our finger on a pulse in the north, south, the east, the west. Look at Syria, look at the sea even, Mediterranean Sea, and see what's going on, and be prepared and be ready. And even in Judea and Samaria, things are just at a boiling point. Even right now, I was supposed to go into Judea and Samaria. So, friends, thank you for standing with Israel, speaking truth. Imagine this happened in your country. It's easy to look, from another country and say, how well are they prosecuting this war? How well are we keeping our citizens safe? Gideon Sar announced that negotiations of phase 2 of the hostage deal will begin. Security Cabinet met to talk about what are the core demands, what is it going to be, how does phase 2 look. And so phase 2 main thing is with United States cooperation. Is Netanyahu says, hey, what we're going to have to do is release all the hostages have to be released, all of them. Removing Hamas leadership from Gaza, dismantling Hamas's military forces. Officials expect Hamas to reject these demands, but they have to completely dismantle. UNRWA, United Nations Refugee Watch Agency, cannot govern. You remember how they're playing with perpetuating this scenario of Palestinian refugees? There was, 500,000 or so in 1949? Now there's over 6 million in Judea and Samaria and Gaza. And come on, and also in other places of the world. They perpetuate, instead of solving it, they're perpetuating it, spreading anti-Israel propaganda. You remember Francesca Albanese, this woman, and she just is completely, you see her on different shows, completely anti-Israel, completely biased. Funds have been going to help terror. Hostages are innocent men and women and children who were held in UN facilities. So I don't think, and the way that Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, blamed Israel for the October 7th attack, so they can't govern it. Has to be someone else. Who's it going to be? So all this needs to be brought in phase 2. And I think UN needs to be held to task for what has happened. How this was able to happen under their noses, all the tunnel digging, all the building of cages underground, all of the stealing of food. Ramadan begins next Friday, and I just pray for a time of peace, not for a time of escalation at the Temple Mount, escalation anywhere. And this is not a time, because Ramadan is fasting all day for Muslims and feasting at night every day for all Muslims. But I want to say this, Isaiah 46 verse 13, I am bringing my righteousness near, it is not far away, and my salvation will not be delayed. I will grant salvation to Zion and my splendor to Israel. We need God's intervention in this time.